Dun, dun, dun. All right, Amy. Once again, we are now live, and they can see you. And in a minute, you won't be able to see them, but you can see me, and you can see everyone else below.
Awesome.
So I'll go
Awesome.
ahead and turn it over to you.
Well, Shay, I am so excited to get to spend some time today with entrepreneurs that are listening in the audience and also our entrepreneurs that are here on the panel because I love business. I love building business owners. I love helping them to be able to take their business to a place of providing the lifestyle that they want for them. And I know we're coming into the Global Wealth Leaders Weekend. The event is this weekend. For those of you who are just hearing about it for the first time, we are hosting an amazing business conference in Atlanta, Georgia this weekend. It's called the Global Wealth Leaders Live Event. And the beauty is you can watch from wherever you want to watch. If you're in the Atlanta area, I mean, even if you're in like Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, I'd drive. I'm just saying. You're going to have some of the best speakers in the world that will be here. Get on a plane, drive, however you want to get there, but come and join us. And if you're not in the area and you can't get on the plane or in the car, then you can actually sign up to watch online. So we can come straight and stream right into your home. But this conference is all about building entrepreneurial skills so that we can move to our next level. One of the things that I find to be really frustrating for entrepreneurs is that they start the business because they want more freedom. I find most entrepreneurs don't start the business because they want more money only. Because if it's only about the money, let's be honest, you could get a job or you could look for a raise or you could go get a better job or you could sell drugs. You know, there's money to be made in lots of places. Usually we start the business because we want more of a lifestyle. We want more freedom. We want to be able to see our families more. I'm not going to lie, I love the fact that I do not have to get dressed up every single day. I love that I never sit in traffic. Oh, yeah.
I like that too,
Shay,
by the way.
I saw you in your shorts today on your broadcast. I was like, Shay's not dressed up. I love it.
They were not supposed to show my legs, by the way. That Trevor Otts.
Well, they were showing, let me just say. But I love that freedom and that lifestyle to live our life the way that we want to. But here's the frustrating part. A lot of entrepreneurs come in and they don't put in place the structure that their business needs. And so as a result, what happens is they have a job where they work harder and their money's more inconsistent. And that's no fun. That's what we're going to break through at Global Wealth Leaders is that idea that entrepreneurship has to be a struggle. I don't believe it has to be a struggle. I believe that it can be amazing. It can be fantastic. You can have a business that is truly profitable and makes money, is well systematized, makes money even when you're on vacation, and that you can still have the lifestyle that you want where you have the freedom and the flexibility to show up and to play in your way, whatever that looks like for you. So I'm really excited about the conference, and I get to introduce you today to some of our speakers and some of our panelists who are going to be joining us at the conference. And so, Cheyenne, let's introduce you first. You want to go ahead and come off of mute? Welcome.
Sure. Can you hear me?
So excited to have you. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, great. Thanks for having me, Amy.
Yeah, no problem. So Cheyenne is going to be on one of our panel discussions. And the panel discussions are just a chance to be able to learn from multiple entrepreneurs together at the same time and figure out really what are we doing that's working. Because Cheyenne, I don't know about you, but sometimes I think there's a tendency that you hear one person that's doing one thing and you think it's got to be that way. And I love hearing perspective. So why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself, introduce your business, and then share a little bit about your perspective that you're going to be bringing to the conference.
Thank you, Amy. So my name is Cheyenne Palma Dominguez. I'm a speaker, and I'm an event host, and primarily I run a networking organization for professional women in all different industries. So Amy, I hear from a lot of entrepreneurs, and in particular, I hear from women, especially women entrepreneurs, a lot of women who have left corporate America for either quality of work-life balance, more time at home, or perhaps they were previously in a position where they may have survived downsizing and they had taken on, someone else's job at the office, so now they're doing two jobs for the same amount of money, and then they used to be doing one job.
That's so fair.
Yeah, because that's considered a promotion at some organizations.
Right.
Now you get to do
Let me give
two
you a
jobs.
promotion.
Yes,
Twice the
exactly.
work, no more money, and you never get to go home. So
You
that's
never get to
exciting,
go
right?
home. Or you can go home, but you've got to bring your work home with you.
Right.
Is very common as well. But so I hear from a lot of women and a lot of women who have started a wide variety of different types of businesses. And I think one of the biggest hurdles I hear from women, one of the things that they didn't address early on, is really what is almost one of the most obvious pieces of starting a business, and that's what your revenue plan is going to be. So a lot of women, I think, start businesses because for all the reasons you said, they want more time, they want more control of their lives, but they haven't really given a lot of focus and time into how exactly the revenue is going to grow. You know, how many clients does that look like? How much time are you going to need to invest into building your clientele specifically versus all the other pieces of the business that you need to focus on as well? But that revenue piece, I've heard that over and over again. And so I definitely think that's a theme with women starting businesses.
You know, that's so interesting because when you look at the numbers, we are starting businesses at a rate of 5 times the amount that men are starting businesses right now. But the overall income and money that we're producing really has not gone up a lot. So I
Yeah.
completely agree with you that I think a lot of women start the business from this place of their soul. And I did too. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I started business because I wanted to help and serve, and I had this mission of building women entrepreneurs, and it was all very
Hmm.
happy-feely, let's be soul sisters. But I also had to feed my family, and
Sure.
I didn't have the luxury of a nest egg, and so from the get-go, it was like, where's the money in this business? Where's the money?
Right.
And I think a lot of women feel like that's somehow wrong to chase the money
Hmm.
when in reality they have to.
Absolutely. And I think, like you said, we are really well intentioned, right? Women, I think, are naturally, we're givers in our families, and perhaps there's some reason we sometimes feel bad about wanting to earn a lot of money or wanting to earn the amount of money that we should be earning, that we're worth, the amount of money that we're worth, and that our contributions are perhaps even more valuable than we realize. And so I'd really like to see women focus on what that revenue piece of their business is going to look like and seeing it come to fruition.
I have a question for you because I just always think this is a fascinating transition that sometimes we don't talk about enough. What do you see when women start out earning their husbands? What kind of it brings stuff up. I don't know if you've been through that, but it brings stuff up, and I think sometimes women hold back a little bit because they're nervous about how that transition's going to go.
Well, I've had that experience myself in life. My husband and I have both have growing, successful careers, and each have our own professional ambitions. And there was certainly a time when I was out earning my spouse. But I was in a very, I think, unique and lucky position. My husband was my biggest cheerleader and my biggest champion. And even when I was out earning him, he said, he really always encouraged me to do more. And it wasn't long after that that actually I branched out on my own and decided to launch my own business, or businesses actually. So I think I was in a very unique position that I had that kind of support, to have my spouse as my biggest cheerleader. And I'd have people calling me all the time and say, I met your husband, he gave me your card, he said I have to call you. So that was quite interesting. But I know not everyone is in that position or doesn't have that same feeling. And I think it's something especially for women to talk about together. And I think just being able to have a discussion with other women who are maybe going through that or dealing with that, and finding out, how is the conversation going for them at home? What are the questions they're asking? How are they planning differently with their families and their spouses? But I think that we have a lot we can lend to each other in that regard. And I think it's important for women to talk about it with other women, especially if they're not getting that support at home, to get that support from other women and maybe then figure out how to transition that. How does that translate into having support at home?
Yeah. Well, and as women entrepreneurs, there are some parts to the conversation that sometimes we really do just need that sisterhood to be able to talk through and say, okay, I even just last week I was having a struggle with one of my kids. My sweet 3-year-old is in a phase. Let's just say that. That boy is in a phase. He's hard and he needs so much attention. And I told my husband, the words came out of my mouth, I said, I think we just need to shrink the business. And it had nothing to do with business, and it was totally this emotional response where really what it was I was feeling that pull between how do I show up as an amazing woman and how do I show up as an amazing mother and businesswoman and find that balance. And luckily the next day I came to my senses, and the look my husband gave me, you could tell he was like, yeah, that conversation's not going to last. But not everyone always gets that. And so having that space of sisterhood and really understanding that there are some unique challenges for entrepreneurship and women, I think it's beautiful what you've created. I'm excited to get to hear from you on our panel.
Thank you. Well, I'm excited to be there this weekend and meet everyone in person, and hopefully I'll be able to contribute, and the time will be well spent, which I think it will be. And I'm looking forward to learning as well from all the other speakers and panelists you have lined up. So thank you, Amy.
Awesome, awesome. Well, let's go ahead and welcome everybody who's on now. We jumped right in with Cheyenne because I know she has another appointment today, and I want to make sure we get to pick her brain thoroughly. But we also have Mr. Shay Brown on the line. Shay, welcome. Thanks for being here, as always, our sales cardiologist.
Thank you so much, Amy. I'm looking forward to it. And thanks for what you're doing, by the way, putting on this Global Wealth Leaders Summit for us and for everyone that's out there so much. So thank you for all that you're doing. Looking forward to it.
You're welcome. And then we've got Nicole Coop, who's on with us. Nicole is one of our breakout facilitators in our digital conference. So the cool thing about this event is we are bringing it to you wherever you are. I'm not going to lie, the room in Atlanta is going to be a party. But if you're in Milwaukee or you're in Los Angeles or wherever you are, you're in Hong Kong, you can join in, and we've got some great trainers for you. So Nicole's going to be one of our digital facilitators. Thanks for being here with us today. We're so excited to have you, Nicole.
Thank you very much, Amy. I'm excited to be here too, and I'm definitely looking forward to the event this Friday and Saturday and being able to contribute.
Awesome. And I love your pink color. That's my color. I need that color in my house somewhere. It's my favorite color. All right, and then we've got Mr. Trevor Otts on the line. Trevor, good timing. I said your name just as you take a drink of water, so I'll filter you a little bit here.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome.
I am looking so forward to being in Atlanta. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody arrive in Atlanta. And Amy, I was just sitting here thinking, is that, and everybody on this call could probably testify to this, is that business is an adventure. And so many times as entrepreneurs, we forget that. And then all of a sudden, when it gets time to take an adventure and do something exciting, we want to come back to this safe zone. And so be adventurous this weekend. Come on down to Atlanta. Business is an adventure. It's like that college road trip. You just scream, road trip, and you just go do it. And if we treated our business like we did going on a journey in college, I believe we would be more successful. For my message for today, road trip.
Road trip. I totally went camping with my college roommate once, and we forgot our tents. And you know what? We slept in our car, and it still worked out just fine. Who goes camping without a tent? This girl right here. So I'm with you. Like, sometimes we think we got to put so much preparation into making it go perfectly according to the book, and it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes you just need to jump in and move forward and make the most of the opportunity that's right in front of you. So, yeah, it's road trip time. I love it. Except for you, you're making an airplane trip.
Yeah. And, like I said before, I think that for entrepreneurs, we got to stop playing it safe. We got to get off the sidelines, and we got to stop being spectators on the road to success. And I think a lot of times what happens is that we want to see somebody else do it. We want to see somebody else do it first. We want to see what's going to happen to them. And then we decide that, okay, if they're successful, then I can do it too. And business is very much about being a leader, being pioneering, finding your niche, and having the confidence to believe that the difference that you want to make in the world can also be the difference that you can make in your life to be able to sustain yourself and to create something profitable for yourself and others. And that's one of the things I'd like to see more entrepreneurs doing. The next thing is that, we got about 117 days before the end of the year. And for many of us, we are already giving up on this year. But Shay and I were talking, and we had an interesting conversation. And in our conversation, we decided that today was going to be our January 1st. And that every day when we got up, we were going to say, today is our January 1st. And that what if we got up every day this year for the rest of the year and treated every day as a new opportunity to do new things, to become a new person, and to create new opportunities? And what if we approached every day as though we were going to just come shooting out of a cannon and really take charge of our destiny and our future? And so if you're watching today, here's what I want you to know. Today is your January 1st. And today is the day where you get a chance to choose a new way to do different things. And so what does that mean? You get a chance to start with good marketing. You're going to learn marketing at this conference. You're going to learn branding at this conference. You're going to learn automation at this conference. You're going to learn leadership at this conference. There are many components that really make up a successful business. And the question that you got to ask yourself is, what's the component that you are missing right now? And these are the things that you're going to learn at the Global Wealth Leaders Conference. And the reality is that we all need a little bit of help. And the key thing is that when you get a chance to get together with experts, and I'm not talking about get together with experts where here you are in the audience and here's the expert on the stage. I'm talking about when you and the expert are eye to eye, where you and the expert break bread together, where you and the expert walk to lunch together, where you get a chance to really collaborate and communicate your challenges with people who've been where you have, where you're going and where you've been. And I think the key thing about the Global Wealth Leaders Conference, and the reason why I'm so excited to be there, is you get a chance to go through and grow through with people who have gone through. And wait till you see some of the things. I love hearing Amy's stories about some of the things that, some of the growing pains, some of the things that she had to go through. And when you know that you're going to also get through as well. And I think this is the key. And you have so many experts in so many spaces. And I've been to other conferences, and I can tell you, typically conferences at this magnitude are easily a $2,000 to $3,000 ticket. And the fact that you get a chance to be in the space with the Cheryl Woods and the Delatoro McNeils and the Amy Walkers and the digital facilitators, if you were looking to get your business on the right track, this is the place to be. That's why I'm going to be there. And the question is, why are you going to be there?
Well, I'll tell you why I'm going to be there. It's my conference. No. I want to speak to that a little bit. Why do this? Because there's a lot of different, I'm an online girl. I love running my business online because I live in a little teeny tiny town of 300 people. I have 5 children. My life is demanding, and so for me to put on a conference and to spend 2 days away from home, there's got to be a real specific reason why. Otherwise, I just put it online and automate it, right?
Yeah.
It is because you just simply cannot create the level of transformation online as you can in a real live experience. I love what you talked about, that it's not the kind of a conference where, the speakers are up here and you're not going to have access to them because we privately whisk them away through the back and then take them out to their limo and then they leave, Like this is a space where I've brought together some of the most truly talented, successful, but also heartfelt speakers and trainers who sometimes we want for you more than you want for you. we want it so badly that we're willing to get in there and be like, no, listen, this is what's going to happen, and this is how it needs to happen, and this is why you can do it. And you might be sitting there on the sidelines going, okay, am I really ready? It doesn't matter. You're doing it. Like, it's time. It's ready. It's time to stop marinating on your ideas, and it's time to start getting out there and getting it done. Because here's the thing, big ideas do not change the world. We hear that all the time. Big ideas don't, big ideas change the world. I'm like, no, they don't. I meet people every single day with big ideas, and they are doing nothing more than swimming through their brain and, keeping them up at night, and they feel all excited about it, but it hasn't changed my world. It hasn't even changed their neighbor's world. So this conference, for me, business and entrepreneurship is our platform where we get to do more good in the world. We get to create positive impact and create change. And business is the platform and the vehicle for which we do that. So those of you who are coming, just be prepared. I fully plan to kick you in the butt and get you in gear and get you moving because we need you. And that, I truly feel that. I feel hungry for that. I watch you and I see you playing in your little sandbox, and I'm like, come to my sandbox. We have so much building that needs to be done. There's so much room for people to truly step beyond that level of getting by and to truly step into creating something that will have global impact. So I'm really excited for the conference. I'm excited for you guys to get here, and definitely so worth the road trip to be in that space. Those of you who are watching online, it's going to be amazing. You're going to have great content. But those of you who are in the room, you will leave with contacts for your next joint venture relationship. You will leave with contacts for your next collaboration. You will leave with contacts for future clients. Like, there will be so much value exchanged in our space that you absolutely don't want to miss it. I mean, the only reason I would join online is if there's no possible way for you to get in person with us. Awesome. Okay, let's bring Nicole. I'm going to bring you on here.
Hey, Nicole.
Okay, hi,
Welcome.
how are you? Hello.
Nicole, go ahead and introduce your business and tell us a little bit about the digital training that you're going to be providing.
Okay, so my name is Nicole Koop, and I have had several different businesses. I'm currently I own a counseling private practice here in the state of Washington, and I also do some family law, mediation, court-appointed divorce work as well. What has happened for me is over the course of becoming an entrepreneur and starting these multiple businesses is I've done all types of training, classes, learning, doing everything that you just said that we're going to find at this conference, Amy. It's just tapping into the experts. And along the way, I found that my own kind of sense of work-life balance started to fall apart. So again, how can I show up, as you said, amazing in my business, but yet still be the mom and the wife that I desire to be? And really wanting everything to be successful, I personally started to see a crash. And during the course of that period in my life, I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't necessarily need mental health counseling, and I didn't need to know the next thing in my business, but I couldn't figure out how to put it all together. How do I get out of this pit, which is starting to look like this business that I was so passionate about is going to fall apart? And after walking through that season of my life, that became the birth of this coaching and consulting business, was to work with women who were so excited about the business that they've began, but yet also are trying to figure out how to find that balance with their family and for themselves personally. Because really where we are personally so much impacts all these other areas of our lives. So my topic in the digital facilitator is breaking through the glass ceiling of your business really begins with you. It's being able to look at where you are and then start to look at these other key areas. We can't ignore your marriage and your relationships. We can't ignore your business and the systems and the beliefs you have about money, and putting all three of those areas together to be able to break through that glass ceiling, that achievement you can see but you can't quite reach.
Well, you know what's so funny about that glass ceiling is it's self-imposed. And I will fully raise my hand to this. Like, I know that this is still, to this day, it's one of my core pieces I have to pay attention to. Because when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, I am unwilling to create success at the expense of my family. Like, I'm just completely unwilling to do it that way. And so I feel like sometimes we put one foot on the gas and we put one foot on the brake, and then we can't understand why we feel so frustrated. And so I
Right.
love what you're doing in helping people create the foundation to be able to do both and do it well. Do you want to give us a preview tip, one of the things you're going to share during your digital class?
Well, preview tip. I think, let's see. Let's just say I'll give you one from each area. How's that? From yourself, from your
Okay.
relationship, in your business. So when it comes to you, I really think that it's so important to tap into that why. Um, why are you doing this? Why are you so passionate about this? Even when we're talking about getting to that next level, what if it's 6 figures? What if it's 7 figures? What if it is, I want to be able to take a 2 months off in the summer? If you don't understand why you're shooting for that goal, it makes it really hard for the how and the passion
Yeah.
to follow along rather easily. And I think that as entrepreneurs, that's where we tend to get lost. We get wrapped up in the routine and the day to day, and we've lost sight of why we're even doing that to begin with. So I think from an individual standpoint, you really want to pay attention to your why for whatever the goal is that you're searching for.
You know, I think one of the dangerous things with that is sometimes we just do things because it's what everybody's doing, and it seems like
Yes.
that's what comes next, but it's not really
Yes.
fulfilling to us. And so I am with you on that. You got to make goals that are actually fulfilling what you want out of life. Otherwise, you're just working, but you're not necessarily creating what you wanted in the first place.
Yes, and if you're out of alignment spirit-wise, it's going to manifest. It's going to show up in your body or, as I said, in other areas of your life. So got to pay attention to where you're at spiritually. So
Awesome.
from a family perspective, and I think Cheyenne touched on this, it's communication. So if you have a partner, if you have friends or family, it's when we stop sharing about what's going on in our business, when we stop communicating about what our goals are, that again, we start to see a drop off in balance. And communication is key. And for so many people, whether it's they've stopped communicating or they're arguing or there's conflict or the culture of their business is off and then the environment is toxic, it all begins with communication. Because if we can't communicate, we can't talk about the money, we can't talk about intimacy in a marriage, we can't talk about the success of our business. Communication is going to be key.
Awesome. Totally agree.
Yeah. And then the third one, I think, on the money side is, again, something that you and Cheyenne were touching on, is our overall beliefs about money. So if you don't understand what your money story is, what's your family background, what do you bring into this from an experience standpoint? In some cases, it doesn't matter if you're making 6 figures or zero. Your beliefs about money are going to have an impact on your business. You're taking in everything that you spend and it's going right back out the door. You're afraid to hit that next level of success because no one in your family ever has, and it breeds a sense of jealousy or fear, right down to being completely disconnected with money, which is my story. Not paying attention to the numbers, just believing it's always going to be there. You can't run a business that way.
No, you make bad decisions. I'm with you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I remember years ago, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. And I remember years ago, I would experience this start-stop. And I would work really hard because my family needed it. My family has always needed my income, but I'd work really, really hard. We'd start getting ahead. We'd start having success. And then all of a sudden, I would look around. I'm like, oh my gosh, my family needs me. I'm dropping the ball. And I would put the brakes on it. I would jump back into family mode. Then a few months later, we couldn't pay the bills again. And so I would jump back in and work really hard, start to create some success. And it was this pattern. I did it for years. And one time, my uncle was at my house. We were having a conversation. I come from an amazing family. Like, my family is my greatest blessing. They've just always been really good people. But he said this to me, and I almost think it was divine intervention because God was saying, Amy, you are not getting the message, so it's going to be spoken directly to you. And he said, we were talking about this, he said, Amy, it's okay for you to work to get by if your family really needs it. It's just not okay for you to work to get ahead. And I was like, that's it. That's the belief that has been slowing me down for all these years, is that for me as a mother, it's okay for me to work when my family needs it, but it's not okay for me to work just to get ahead, just to go on trips, just to travel, just to get a boat, just to get a nicer car. And that was the worst, most damaging thing to my business because I could never actually create momentum. And so when she talks about these beliefs that we have, like, that's some serious business right there. If you can identify what yours are and you can move past it, it opens up so much more potential. And I'll tell you, my family has a much easier time with my business once it became consistent. As soon as I stopped, doing that whole back and forth and knew what they could count on, oh my gosh, easier for them, way easier for me.
Yes,
well, Nicole,
definitely.
I'm so excited to have you as our digital facilitator. You're going to be training. They'll get a chance to watch your video a couple times, actually. So you can jump on, and that'll be available for all of our online audience. Awesome. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much.
Cool, cool. All right, Mr. Shea Brown, let's hear from you a little bit. Talk to us about, give us some sales tips here. What do they need to know about sales in their business?
Sure. There's 3 things you need to know about sales. Number 1 is today is a brand new start. And the number 1 way that you're going to grow your business, and I know it's not all about sales for some of you, as Amy talked about, there is making sure that you can take care of your family and grow the business as well. And I've heard that theme, and that's important. But for some of you, the time has really come to really bring in the revenue in your business. And there's only one way to do that. There's only one way to do that. You probably heard this before. You can jot this down in your notes. Well, first there's the law of the universe, right? Let me give that idea to you. Just jot this in your notes. Just follow me for a minute or two. The law of the universe. And the law of the universe says nothing happens until something moves, right? So something has to move for something to happen. Whether you believe it or not, that's kind of like one of the laws of the universe. But then there's also one of the laws of business. And one of the laws of business, according to Shea Brown, by the way, and probably many others, but one of the laws of business is nothing happens in business until somebody makes a sale, right? Because sales is really the heartbeat of your business. If you had your right hand, you took your right hand, you put it over your heart, and you were just quiet for just 10 seconds. Kind of hard to do it, isn't it? You felt that beat. That beat kind of represents the revenue or the sales that are happening in your business right now, and it kind of pumps the blood that you need to go through your body for your heart, but also for the business. And there's only really 2 ways to grow the business. You're going to hear a lot of different ways to do it, but I'm just going to give you my view from a sales lens, and then I'll give you a very specific idea that you can use on this particular broadcast. It's going to help you today. So I promise the next 5 minutes will be a really good use of your time. So just hang in there. But there's only 2 ways to really grow the business, 2 fundamental ways. And I want to tell you this because I believe that simple is easy and easy is duplicatable. So you might say, Shay, that's really simple. Jot this in your notes. Simple is easy and easy is duplicatable. 2 ways. One way is to go back to existing clients and offer them more products and services to help their business or help them grow, offer them more solutions to your existing clients. And that's one way to grow the business. It doesn't really grow the business, by the way. It really just helps generate additional cash flow and revenue in the business that you're probably going to use to do other things anyway, but it brings in extra cash. So you can get sales by going back to existing businesses. And for some of you, that's one way to do it. And then there's going after new clients. These are folks who don't know who you are today. And that group is unlimited. The possibilities there are just unlimited. With your existing clients, there's some constraints. You got to do both. I get it. But now that you have those 2, think about what your focus is going to be as we go into really the last third of this year. September 1st marked the point where there's still 33% of the year left. So think about it. Only 66% is behind you. You had these goals, and for many, 33% of the year, 118 days, 117 days is plenty of time for you to really achieve all the goals you want from a sales perspective. But I believe it's going to come down to one area for many. And go ahead and jot this down in your notes. I think this is the number 1 idea that I want to share right now is I want you to really take a look at your prospecting systems. Like, I want you to think through what you have currently in the pipeline that you can go after new business and what you have in the pipeline to go after existing clients. And the reason I say that is I believe the number 1 reason that a number of entrepreneurs fail is that they don't have a closing problem. Most folks, if they get in front of enough people that have a problem and they offer a solution, the law of averages are just in their favor. Like, they can say the wrong thing. It'll happen. But they really don't have enough qualified people, these are prospects, who have a problem, who have an interest, a need, or a want. Jot that down in your notes. I want to make sure that's clear. They have an interest, a need, or a want. Sometimes you hear it said that you have to find someone who has a need. And that's not the case. Someone could need to, I would say, lose weight and never take any action at all. Someone could need to save money and never do it at all. But if someone has a desire for a new pair of shoes, you want to see that person go on Google and do all the searching, they're going to find those shoes. They're going to find a way. If they have just a want, and it's something they really want, they're going to go for it. So in your pipeline, I want you to be thinking through that. Now, you might say, Shay, what can I walk away with? I showed up. I'm here. I'm spending very precious minutes right now listening. What's the one thing that I can walk away with other than I need to get more prospects? Because I knew that before I showed up. That's why I got to be at the Global Wealth Leaders Summit, because I need that, by the way. Here it is. I'm going to put this in your notes. I've started really doing this one simple principle. And how many ideas do you need to change your life, really? One. Or change your business? One. Jot this in your notes. One good idea implemented is better than 1,000 ideas you have right now. So you only need one. Isn't that good? Like, you need one idea that I'm going to give you. It takes no software. You don't have to learn nothing. You don't have to download nothing. You don't have to take no class. You can just go do this right now. And for many of you, it's going to be a game changer, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you pay attention, or a speaker, or an author, or a coach, or a network marketer, or some type or part of your income is tied to commission sales. Like, you're joined at the hip. You're in sales. But here it is. Put this in your notes. Schedule block time. What does schedule block time mean? Just put it in your notes, schedule block time. I want you to block time on your calendar to just prospect. So even if it's 60 minutes a day, I want you to look at your calendar. Now, Trevor, tell you lately, I've been putting that on our calendar. Shay is doing this. And during that time, I'm not going to be answering the phone, not taking Facebook. I'm focused on how can I get in front of folks or find folks who have a problem. Now, for some of you, maybe that's through email. So that'll be your primary way of communicating. That's fine. You got 60 minutes, okay? There are 1,440 minutes in every day. And the average entrepreneur is selling less than 15 minutes a day because they got paperwork and they got to go to a meeting. Sometimes they're got to take another class. They've got to do anything but sell. But if you think about it, 60 minutes of prospecting, whether it's through a video, whether it's through face-to-face, whether it's over the phone, through a conference call, through the power of this broadcast right now, you can block that time to really do what you need to do, which is find people who have a problem. And if you bring more folks who have a problem into your pipeline, then your law of averages goes up. Okay, Shay, I'm going to block time. Now, if you're committed to doing that, I'm going to tell you that by itself will be a game changer. The average person, I don't know if you know this, by the way, Amy, but they spend over 2.5 hours on Facebook. Can you imagine that? Like 2.5 hours. Like even while you're talking to me right now, some of you have gone to your Facebook page to look at it. What a total waste of time. Really? You could be, and then yet they say they don't have enough time to do what they need to do. Okay, I got to stop right now because I'm getting a headache. But I will say this, and I'll close. I'll give it to you, Amy. Why are you prospecting? Shay, what's my number one outcome? I'm going to give it to you. Your number one outcome is to set an appointment. See, you can do that. So first, you start off with prospecting. Then you set an appointment to learn, to qualify them maybe for some of you, to learn more about them, to do data gathering, to build a relationship, to start the network. And that's all you got to do. You ain't got to sell them anything, but set the appointment. So with that being said, Amy, the suggestion I give in the area of sales is, number one, start selling. Number two, block some time to prospect. And number three, set some appointments. You do that. Look, everything else will fall in place. With that being said, Amy, I'm going to turn it over to you. Look, I can't wait. If you haven't been over to globalwealthleaderslive.com, head on over there now. If for some reason you're watching this broadcast, you got a hold of it, or you're watching it right now, you need to know what can you do, go to globalwealthleaderslive.com. I think there's still a few open spots available. Go ahead and register. So at least register. Check it out for yourself. Check out some of the speakers, some of the presenters that are right for you. And then sit back and take action on one idea. Because Amy is doing an amazing job. Now, she's not by herself, by the way. There's Amy and 5 boys hanging out there and her husband hanging out there, the whole team. But she gets to smile and be on camera right now. So, Amy, thanks for putting this on. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be amazing.
Awesome. You know, I cannot speak enough to the need for business owners to get into their sales more. One of the things I'm teaching on at Global Wealth Leaders, I'll be covering a lot of information over the 2 days. I'm teaching you the 7-figure formula and what it looks like to actually build out $1 million business. And I did something fun that I've never done before, where I actually analyzed each year in my business what I did, because it took us 3 years and 2 months to hit our first $1 million in revenue. which, you know, for some of you, you want to go faster. For others of you, you would be thrilled if you could do that in 3 years. I'm not saying compare your process to mine, but I do want to show you what the different phases of my business looked like. So I actually wrote it out. What did I do in the first year of business to generate $110,000 right out of the gate? What did I do in the second year to increase that to 440? And one of the things that I did in the first year was I didn't spend 60 minutes a day prospecting. I spent 2 full days a week in sales in my business. 2. So I was a business coach. I coached 1 day a week. I spent 2 days a week selling. I spent 1 day a week marketing. And I spent the 5th day working on, let's see, yeah, one marketing. I'm like, can I add up? Is that already 5 days? No, I spent 1 day working on product creation and program development and building my infrastructure. And so I agree with you, Shay, that hands down, a lot of the reasons why business owners aren't getting to that level that they want to be is there's just not enough time going into their sales. And what's really exciting, which I know you're going to be training on in the conference, is how to get to the point where you're not the only one selling in your business. That it's not like if Shay's not in the office hitting up his emails and on the phone, then there's nothing going on. Like, you've got a team that has the ability to bring in sales and revenue, and that's really where we all want to get to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Looking forward to sharing how to build your 7-figure sales team without spending a dollar. And you might say, is that possible? Well, the answer is yes. If you don't believe it's possible, then maybe it's not possible for you. But for many, that's what they're doing today, and you can do it as well. Thanks a lot, Amy, for putting it on. You're amazing. I'm looking forward, Nicole. I saw the other folks of connecting with you, watching you as you present your content and your message. It's going to be incredible. I know you're going to be connecting with folks as well. You're going to be in the chat. Folks will be able to reach you as well. Looking forward to it. And all of you out there who are participating in the Global Wealth Leaders Summit, thanks for all you're doing. Looking forward to it. I'll see you in Atlanta.
Yeah, woohoo! I'm excited.
I want to go see the goats. I want to go see the goats, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how far Amy lives from where we're going to be, but I want to see the goats. So I'm gonna find out if those goats are out there.
It's like an hour and a half. But
I'm sorry. I'm from Washington D.C. We don't go an hour and a half, Amy. And 2 to 3 blocks is fine.
I know.
No, that's hour and a half too far. No. I will not be seeing the goats. It's okay.
I even thought about it. I was like, is there a way I could get a goat to you? Just bring, like, here you go, Shay, pet my goat. But I don't think it's so.
we need to build some business principle that ties into milking a goat. Like, see, what you need to learn is you got to learn how to get the milk.
That was crazy.
And you got to show up for that milk every single day. That's the principle right there. All right. So, Trevor, you are going to be training around marketing, and really you are one of the forerunners in the digital marketing world. Mm-hmm. You are so innovative. I mean, I feel like you must have some top secret interconnection, because before something is even known to mankind, you know about it. So give us a couple of tips on how we can increase lead generation and lead flow into our businesses.
Well, I think the one thing that we got to do to increase the effectiveness and the efficiency of our marketing is to remember that in your marketing, you want to be authentic. And I think oftentimes we see so many people and we decide that our business process needs to look like theirs. Our products need to look like theirs. Our services, our graphics. And the key thing is, if there's 100 different products that look like yours, right, then the world doesn't really need yours. So you got to find that thing that really makes you unique, and you got to stand on that. And then the next thing is, a lot of times successful marketing has more to do with how you see things and less to do with all of the gadgets, the gadgets, and the widgets that you have out there. And so we're going to be talking about getting rid of linear marketing funnels. And we're going to get into a conversation around the evergreen revenue model. And what we're really going to talk about is that in the early days of marketing, it was all about funnels, marketing funnels, sales funnels, funnels. And I remember one day I got up and I said, why does everything have to be a doggone funnel? I mean, I've gone funnel crazy, like funnel out of my mind. Matter of fact, the only funnels that I really want is funnel cake. You have some funnel cake? I'm for funnel cake. But in
Guess
general,
what, Trevor? I have a big, huge thing of funnel cakes in my freezer right now. Somebody gave us like
bring funnel
spectacular
cakes to
funnel
Atlanta.
cakes.
Bring
I'll
funnel
bring
cakes
you
to
one.
Atlanta. I'll be looking for it. I really will be looking for it. So in funnels, one day I started to look at the funnel, and I started to look at how the funnel was drawn. I don't know if they can see my board. Let me just erase this off real quick, and I'll make this really quick. Can they see my board, Amy?
Yeah, we can see your board.
Okay, good. Okay, so I started looking at how funnels work, and they looked a little something like this. And funnels always had kind of clients and customers and prospects and leads coming in here, and then they would kind of come down to the funnel. And then the funnel, if you've ever seen a funnel, you've never seen a funnel that didn't have a hole at the bottom. And at the bottom would drop out your clients. And what would happen is we would build these elaborate marketing funnels to bring people in. But the problem is after they come through all of our products and services, the client really ends up going away because we've done all the stuff with them. And I didn't think that it was a good idea to build a marketing system where you bring people in and push people out. And the fact that we were building whole systems where you bring people in and push people out, I wanted to ask the question, how do we keep people in? And so I started looking at successful companies. And I realized that some of the more successful companies out there were really not building funnels as much as they were building ecosystems, circular models. And when I started looking at companies like Apple, I realized that they were building systems not where you bring people in and push people out, but where you bring people in and keep them in. And I think that is the new age model for doing successful business. And if you look at a company like Apple, they will have a product called the iPhone here. And then after the iPhone, they created the iPad. And then they have another product called the MacBook Pro. And then they have another product called the Apple TV. And then they have another product called the trusty Apple Watch. And after you've bought all of their products, it's time for you to buy iPhone 2, iPad 2, MacBook Pro 2, Apple TV 2, Apple Watch 2. And after you finish buying all of that, it's time for you to buy Apple 3, iPhone 3, iPad 3. And they keep moving you around and around in a circle. And I started asking the question, how do we start building business models that create more of an ecosystem? And when you build an ecosystem with everything that your client needs, you can put your client in the middle and take care of them. And one of the things I realized in building out this ecosystem is these products and services that we built around our clients. Here are the words there. We have products and services that we built around our clients, built to support our clients, built to improve the client experience. When we started building in a circle to support our clients' needs and to support our clients, I started coming into some realizations. I started realizing that all of the products and services that we built around the client didn't have to be manufactured by us. And we started creating relationships with people like Amy Walker, who is phenomenal in training people on global wealth leaders around the country. I work with, you had Shay Brown working with people on sales, and you had people like Delator McNeil. And what we started realizing is that we could build an ecosystem, collaborate with others, and be profitable. And so what we're going to be talking about at the conference is evolving beyond the funnel model and really starting to create a business ecosystem. And one of the things that we're going to be able to show you is, it's funny, it's really interesting, Amy, because when I first got in business, I wanted to do business with everybody. And if you would have told me 10 years ago that all I needed was 100 clients to break 6 figures, I would have thought you were crazy. And I realized that most business owners are they're trying to do business with millions of people, where all you need is to get in front of the right clients and the right people who need your services. And I'd be willing to bet you is that to do the 6 figures and the 7 figures that you really want to do in your business, you probably need less than 350 clients. Probably just 100 clients just to do 6 figures, and you're probably looking at about 3 to 350, maximum 500 to do 7 figures. And the reality is we're out there looking for 10 gazillion clients And I want to show you how to build your ecosystem. And we're going to be teaching you the evergreen revenue model. And here's the number one question that we're going to answer for everybody there. And I want you to write this question down, and I want you to challenge me when we get there. I want you to challenge me online. Here's the challenge. How do you turn your revenue into a regenerating resource? How do you turn your revenue into a regenerating resource? In other words, we see all sorts of things. How do we turn our revenue into a renewable resource? And what if we stop looking at our revenue and the monies that we generate as finite? What if we started thinking about things as more infinite? The thing I like about a circle is it's infinite. It goes around and around and around. You don't know where it begins and you don't know where it ends. But what you do know is everything in the circle is connected to everything else in the circle. It's every product that you offer in harmony with all the other products that you offer. But when you buy an iPhone, it works with the iPad. When you buy the iPad, it works with the MacBook Pro. When you buy the Apple TV, it works with the iPhone. When you buy the Apple Watch, it works with your iPad. All your products and all of your services in harmony. Do they go in a circle? And we're going to look at creating your infinity business model. We're going to look at creating your evergreen revenue model. And what we're going to do is we're going to answer the question. You're going to challenge me. I'm going to give you the challenge. You're going to put me to the challenge. But how do you turn your revenue into a renewable resource instead of looking at it as something that's finite? And I'll leave you with this one nugget, is that we all have resources. And here's the thing. You got to make sure that you don't consume your seed. I get an apple. I eat the apple, but I spit the seeds out. Why do I spit the seeds out? Because I got to plant that next tree. And what I want each of us to do is, what I found is that many of us are consuming our seed. We got to stop eating our seed, and we got to stop planting our seed. And so the reason why you should attend this conference is because you're going to plant the seeds that will basically leave the legacy for your children, for my children, and for the next generation. With that being said, I turn it back over to you, Amy.
You know what I love about the evergreen model too, and this collaboration model, is it's so much faster to make money. That old funnel, oh my gosh, how long did it take for somebody to even go through enough layers before they were paying you enough that it mattered? You know, I'm like, I don't care if you buy my $7 product. I want to actually make money, so I love it. It speeds up the process in which you can get profitable in your business. Beautiful thing. Well, I'm going to give you a little. Go ahead.
I said, especially when done right.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to give you a couple of tips on what I'm going to be training on at the conference, the 7-figure formula. So here's the challenge that I see with so many entrepreneurs, and I talk to business owners on a regular, consistent basis every single week. And here's what's going on. You've spent time and energy and resource in developing your program or your skill or your product or your service. You spent time and energy getting a bunch of social media fans and followers. You've spent time and energy making your brand look tight. And online, you look like a superstar. But you can't figure out how do you break through to that next level where it's not about how it looks on the front, it's about how it looks on the back and the experience of running the business. And quite honestly, a lot of the times you're just simply missing pieces to the puzzle. So it's like you're trying to, build something. So I have boys. I have 5 boys. They're all 3 older ones are in Cub Scouts, and so every couple years when somebody is in this requirement, we build a birdhouse. Okay, so you go and you build this little birdhouse every single time. And every single time I'm looking at the birdhouse, I'm like, they just put in the bare minimums, and it doesn't really work that well. It's missing some components in that birdhouse kit that would make it stronger. Because once that birdhouse gets built, it's about 10 minutes until that birdhouse gets broken down, because it doesn't have a strong foundation, and the elements around it will put pressure on it, and it just kind of falls apart. And so I see people doing this in business. They're putting together pieces that are important pieces. Your social media is important. Your visual brand, it is important. Your product, your service, your message, it's really important. But it's missing some foundational pieces, like a solid marketing plan. Whenever I talk to people and I say, well, tell me what you're doing for marketing, they're like, oh, I'm doing social media. I'm like, that's not a marketing plan. That's one piece to your marketing puzzle. But what are you doing for your visibility strategies? How are you lead capturing? How are you nurturing those leads? How do you transition them into the sales? Have you upgraded your marketing materials recently to make sure that they're on trend and that they're tight and that they are functioning the way you want to? Are you watching your conversion rates? There's so many pieces involved that when we get together for Global Wealth Leaders, I'm going to walk you through, and there will be no mysteries. We're going to build out your 7-figure formula, because what I have experienced is that when you go through and you put together all of the necessary pieces, your business growth accelerates, and it accelerates more quickly than you would have imagined. Let me tell you what I'm not. I am not a short game trainer. So, you look at golf and you've got your long game and you've got your short game. And if you go in and you can have somebody who can help you sink that final putt and get that quick win, that's not who I am in business. I'm helping you build systems that you're going to be able to run for years and years and years to come. So when I look at my clients, it's really, really fun that within a year of starting to work together, the majority of them have doubled their income. But what's even more fun is where they are a year after that and a year after that, and they're holding or growing those numbers that we were able to help generate together. That's exciting for me. I see a lot of people in business. Sometimes I feel like I listen to my industry and it feels like the new weight loss industry. 90-day push. I'm like, you can't build a business in 90 days, you guys. Like, this is a long-term commitment. So what we're looking at is how do you build the foundational pieces of your business? Marketing, sales, systems, strategies, your leadership. Are you creating a scalable model? I ask my clients all the time. They'll tell me, oh, Amy, I'm thinking about doing this. And I'll say, well, let's think ahead. What if you had 500 people in this system now? Would it still work? And if the answer is no, then we've got to look ahead and figure out how do we tweak this so that it will work for more people, because too many entrepreneurs jump in and they start with these pieces and then it grows because they put some things in place. It grows, but then they become the bottleneck in their business where it can't grow beyond them. And now they feel the pressure and they feel the stress of all this growth that's coming up, but they are bottlenecking their own business. So we're going to go pretty deep into strategies and help you analyze and break down where your business is at. You will leave Global Wealth Leaders Live knowing really clearly what are the components that you need to build in order to get it moving, and you're going to know how to do it because we're going to teach you. So you're getting training on marketing, on sales, on leadership, on how to build automated systems, on speaking, on even just thinking like a powerhouse and how to show up in your best. You're going to get money strategies. There's going to be so much information going on at this conference that you will leave at, after we did our conference in Salt Lake, I had people say to me, I have attended every seminar out there. This is by far the best one. I learned more about business in these 2 days than I have at all the other conferences that I paid the big bucks to go to. So it's globalwealthleaderslive.com. I really invite you to go and click now. If you're listening to this and you're sitting on the fence, I just got to ask the question, how committed are you really to your business? If you're sitting on the fence about a free event that is going to be live streamed to your home and you're going to get to hear from the best of the best in terms of business, don't sit on the fence anymore. Just simply go and register and click in, join us for the event. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to say one more thing and then I'll let you go. And I want you to write this down. If you want to create massive results over a short period of time, all you have to do is get committed to consistent actions over a long period of time. Because if you will commit to consistent actions over a long period of time, it builds momentum. And all of a sudden, that momentum of that consistent foundation you've laid, it's going to pop and you'll experience that massive explosive growth in your business that I know you're all looking for. So we want big things for you. I know you want big things for yourself and your business. So join us, globalwealthleaderslive.com. It's going to be a powerful 2 days. Get registered. We've still got a couple open spots left in Atlanta. If you want to come and join us in person, we would love, love, love to have you. All right, Shay, Trevor, Nicole, Cheyenne had to run, but we so appreciate you being on with us today. It's going to be a powerful event. I cannot wait to see you guys in Atlanta.
I can't wait. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
See you online.
See you there.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Talk to you later, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.